gain and sources and reliability, what we have discussed just now. Okay, for the audit approach, normally will approach mean how you audit the financial statement, how you are going to audit the financial statement. Okay, what approach you need to choose. Okay, so the audit approach, okay, you have to base on the risk assessment. Okay, risk assessment procedure that we are going to cover next topic. Okay, risk assessment, okay, normally is the same understanding what you understood just now, that if you identify high risk, so you have to gather more audit evidence. So what are the approach? Okay, in audit, they have two approach. One is system-based approach. Another one is called direct verification approach. Okay, and a system-based approach here where the auditor will carry out the auditor will start doing the audit. Okay, is based on the reliability on the accounting system. Okay, reliability of the accounting system where you put reliance to the accounting system of the company. So how you are going to put reliance on the accounting system of the company? You might do tests. Okay, remember on the earlier class, okay, you have the, okay, I draw in okay. Okay, where you have the time frame here. Okay, time frame of an audit. So you have the planning phase. And you have the final audit. Okay, during the planning phase, okay, you have to find whether how reliance of auditor to the accounting system. Okay, reliance to accounting system. So during this phase, not during the final audit. So if the auditor follow the risk-based approach, a system-based approach, mean that you have to put reliance on the accounting system. So you have to start during the audit planning. Okay, this is called system-based approach. System-based approach. Okay, where you have a combination of the procedure, test of control, and substantive test. Okay, so you have a combination of approach where you have to perform both tests, test of control and substantive test. And then if let's say, okay, when the test of control, okay, is effective. Test of control means you test the system of internal control. So when the system is effective, okay, you put reliance on the accounting system of the company. Okay, you put reliance, so you will reduce your substantive test. You might reduce, okay, the substantive test. Okay, so that is the meaning of system-based approach. So first you have to put reliance on the accounting system, and then when you rely on the accounting system of the company, then you can reduce your substantive test. Okay, because if you substantive test ni normally will be conducted in final audit. If you do another approach, that is direct verification, so that is focused only on direct verification approach. So this approach is only focused on substantive tests. So means that you cannot reduce your test because you not do any test to rely on the accounting system. So you must focus all your tests to substantive tests. Okay. So normally what the auditor do is they like to use system-based approach. Okay, perform first the test of control. Then when they rely on the accounting system, so when they do the audit planning, okay, the extent of the substantive test will be reduced. Okay, any question on that? On the system-based approach and direct verification approach. Do you clear? Clear or not? Fitri? Clear, Fitri?
Yes, madam.
Madam,
Okay, good. So,
madam, is it same approach? Macam tak boleh nak beza. Dua-dua ada substantive test kan?
ya ada. Dua-dua ada. But final audit ni kalau dia buat direct verification, maksudnya direct verification ni dia tak start dekat planning phase lagi, Syamina. Dia tak buat kat sini, dia terus buat kat final audit je test tu. Ujian-ujian untuk dapatkan evidence tu just focus on the final audit. Tapi kalau dia ambil system based approach ni, kan you start with understanding client business and industry and so on tu. After that you perform the test of control. Sebab you nak put reliance on the accounting system. Accounting system ni cara accounting system lah macam you buat daripada source document kepada journal, ledger until the preparation of financial statement. That is accounting system. So dia yes.
So dia start daripada planning phase kan yang atas tu. Yang second tu dia start daripada final audit phase.
Kalau direct verification dia just buat direct on final audit.
Okay.
Dia tak ada pergi waktu planning phase ni, dia tak datang kat company lah. So dia just dapat financial statement baru dia buat direct verification. Terus buat direct verification approach. Dia just perform substantive test. Okay, so dia like the system based approach because test of control ni actually in the company will not the auditor will not perform every year the test of control. Sebab internal control system of the company will not change every year. Okay, unless certain situation happen. Okay, so normally they will perform the test of control ni once in 3 years. Okay, 1 in 3 years. So kalau dia dah ada information on the internal control system ni, dia boleh guna untuk 3 tahun lah. So if they rely, dia akan reduce substantive test ni. So kalau yang tahun pertama mungkin dia akan buat system based approach. Tahun kedua dia mungkin guna direct verification approach. Okay, boleh?
Boleh.
Okay. So that is the meaning of that approach. Okay, now we go to the test of control. Okay. Jam pula punya ni. Yep. Okay. Okay, now we go to the test of control. Test of control, what is actually the test of control? Test of control are audit procedure designed to evaluate the operating effectiveness of control in preventing, detecting and correcting material misstatement at the assertion level. So what is the meaning at the assertion level? At the preparation of the financial statement, assertion level. So just now I said that the management will assert. So at the assertion level means when the management prepare, so this is at the assertion level. So the information is surrounding, or the environment of the information is segment. So that is assertion level. So what is the test of control? You test of control. That's why I said just now. Okay. Okay, the audit procedure for the test of control is done during the planning phase. Okay, it's done during the planning phase. So they perform the test of control because the financial statement will be prepared here 31 December. Yes, 31 December. So at the planning phase ni, you perform the test of control. So what is the mean? It's actually actually they want to look at whether the control is able to prevent, detect and correct the material misstatement at the assertion level. Tests of control are performed only on those controls that the auditor has determined are suitably designed to prevent, detect and correct a material misstatement in an assertion, and if substantially different control were used at different times during the period under audit, each is considered separately. So you want to test on the effectiveness of the internal control means you look at to the control activities. Okay, control activities, right? You learn in FBT. Control activities, one of the control activities is proper authorization. So the control should be exist. Okay, when any of the document to be or any of the transaction to be done by the company. So example in the sales transaction. Okay, sales transaction. Okay, when the company make a sales, they have to issue the sales order. Okay, and then they have to issue the sales invoice. All these documents must be properly authorized. Okay, so that is the meaning of able to prevent, detect and correct a material misstatement at the assertion level. So when you check, when you perform a test, maybe you will pick up a sample from the sales order, sales invoice. You look at in the sales order or at the sales invoice and sales order, is there any proper authorization by the higher personnel? Okay, so and then is there any separation of duties between the person make a sales and the person receive the goods, or the person take out the goods from the store and deliver to the customer? So that is in terms of proper segregation of duties. This is the control should exist, segregation of duties. So these are some examples that you are going to test. Okay, is there any segregation of duties? So how you're going to look at whether the segregation of duties exists? You may observe the transaction. So that is the test of control. Testing the operative effectiveness of control is different from obtaining an understanding of and evaluating the design and implementation of control. However, the same types of audit procedure are used. So the same type of audit procedure. Okay, katalah you nak tengok on the segregation of duties. So when you want to check whether the segregation of duties is exists in the company. So what should you do? You might observe the activities. Okay, observe the activities. So when you observe the activity, you will see whether segregation of duties exists or not, or arise or not in the company. So that is the meaning. Okay, when you want to look at the understanding and evaluating the design and implementation, but kata is different So when you look at, so this is the test. Okay, this is not the test of control. Okay, when you want to look at the evaluation on design and implementation of control, this is called walk through test. So walk through test means it's the first test that you have to do, okay, to see whether the design of the control is exist or not. Okay, and implement or not in the system. So that is called walk-through test. Okay, the second test that should you do to confirm that to look at whether the system is effective or not is test of control. So before you perform the test of control, you should first perform walk-through test. So this is the first one, to see whether the design of and implementation of control is exists. Second test is test of control. So this is to look at on the effectiveness of the control. Effectiveness of the control. So what is meaning of effective? Must able to prevent, detect and correct material misstatement at the assertion level. So means that when the sales order, sales invoice has properly authorized and performed by different person. So means the system is there. The system is already effective. So you can put reliance on the accounting system. Okay, when the system is effective, okay, the sales figure, okay, when you want to check on the sales figure, you can put reliance on that information. So you can reduce your substantive test because you already rely on the financial statement prepared by the company. That is the meaning of put reliance for the test of control. Any question? Can you follow? Boleh? Ani Adriana, is it okay? Ani?
Okay, madam.
Okay tak? Can you follow or not?
Okay,
Okay
boleh.
Okay, good. Pak Iza, are you okay, Pak Iza?
Okay, madam.
Okay, okay. So if not okay, just ask Okay, now go to the second one, substantive procedure. Substantive procedure are procedure designed to detect material misstatement at the assertion level. So detect answer, they only detect the material misstatement at the assertion level. So when we're talking about substantive procedure, they comprise of analytical procedure and test of details of classes of transaction, account balance and disclosure. So classes of transaction, this is in the SOPOL. Okay, account balance, financial position, SOPI. Disclosure, notes to the account. Okay, so means in the substantive procedure, there are actually 4 tests lah. Okay, 4 tests. One is analytical procedure that you learn previous class. Okay, another one is test of transaction. 2. So this is number 1. 3, test of account balance and test of disclosure. So you have 4 types of substantive procedures. Okay, so substantive procedures is a procedures designed to obtain evidence about the assertion made by management about what the financial statement say, okay, about the asset, liabilities and transaction of the client. Okay, and the event that affect the client's financial statement. So that is commonly referred to as financial statement assertion. So that is the substantive procedure. Okay, so when you rely on the accounting system, okay, you can reduce these substantive procedures. Okay, so substantive procedures normally is the procedure conducted at the final audit. Okay, this is at the final audit. Kita tak buat substantive procedures at the beginning. Kalau substantive procedures at the beginning is analytical procedure. Analytical procedure, as what we discussed, they must be performed. Okay, must be performed at the planning stage. So planning stage and at the review stage. So this is must. Okay. For the testing phase, dia jadi compulsory. So kalau nak buat analytical procedure boleh buat, kalau tak nak tak payah. So that is analytical procedure under substantive procedure. Okay. So this is PER, practical experience relate, okay, technical performance. So in terms of the audit test. Okay, implement internal or external audit procedure is about demonstrating your competency in conducting internal or external audit assignment. To achieve this objective, you need to demonstrate your ability to conduct substantive testing. So means that dalam audit ni, okay, at the end of the audit of FAU subject, you must be able to conduct the substantive testing. Okay. So you must be able to differentiate between test of control and substantive test. Okay, actually what is a financial statement assertion? Representation by management. Explicit or otherwise that are embedded in the financial statement and used by the auditor to consider different types of potential misstatement that may occur. So representation by management. Okay, so done. Okay, this is what assertion by the used by the auditor based on the financial statement assertion. So first assertion, so this is talking about assertion. Declaration by the management tadi is called financial statement assertion. So financial statement assertion. Okay, so assertion about classes of transaction and event and related disclosure for the period under audit. Okay, so what assertion used by the auditor? Okay, first occurrence. Occurred ni selalu transaction lah. Transaction occurred, berlaku for the year ended. So 1 tahun tu sales. Is it sales occurred for the year? Okay, sales, let's say my example just now 5 million. Is the 5 million occurred? Or fake transaction or creating transaction. So you have to gather the evidence whether the transaction 5 million for sales occurred or not on that particular period. Okay, this one. For example, all sales for which revenue has been recorded have been taken place. So this is the meaning of occurrence. Okay, transaction and event that have been recorded or disclosed have occurred and such transaction and event pertain to the entity. So it must relate to the entity. That transaction must occur in the entity. So that is meaning of occurrence. The event that have been recorded or disclosed have been occurred and that transaction pertain to the entity. Okay, second, completeness. Okay, completeness. So all transaction and event that should have been recorded. Yang ni dah record So record in the sales ledger, let's say, have been recorded. And all related disclosure that should have been included in the financial statement have been included. So any transaction that have been recorded should be included in the financial statement. So if let's say the accounts receivable, account receivable for Mary, let's say 10,000. Okay, so 10,000 is already recorded in the sales invoice. In the sales ledger. Okay, appeared already 10,000 in the sales ledger. So what should you do next? It should be included in the financial statement. In the statement of financial position, this 10,000 is including in the account receivable, at the year end. So that is the meaning completeness of the transaction. Accuracy, amount and other data related to recorded transaction has been recorded appropriately, and related disclosure have been appropriately measured and described. Example, depreciation on non-current asset has been charged in accordance with the applicable accounting standard and company depreciation policy. So you have to look at whether the company policy, if they're using the straight line method. So you have to look at how the calculation is done. So if let's say 20% on cost, so you have to look, you have to calculate that 20% on cost is accurate. Okay. Cut off. Because this is a transaction, you must have a cut-off period. Cut-off transaction, an event has been recorded in the correct accounting period. For example, all sales revenue relating to period under audit have been recorded in the period, and no sales revenue relating to other accounting period has been recorded in this period. So, what does it mean? Okay. They should add tak boleh dah. Okay, what should mean? Okay, time period the cut off. So this is cut off period. Okay, you have the accounting period, preparation of the financial statement. Okay, 31 December, year X lah. Okay, so when you audit the company, okay, you do the test here, substantive test on the transaction. So when you want to check the invoice, okay, sales invoice. Sales invoice, what should you do is you take for the cut off period. So which period you want to test? So you take 1 week before year end and 1 week after year end. Okay, 1 week before and 1 week after. So for the sales invoice, what you want to check? Okay, you don't want any invoices, okay, to be recorded. Actually, it should be recorded at year end, but they bring it to the next accounting period, And also the information should be at the next accounting period, but they bring into the, so that is the cut-off test. Okay, cut-off test dia nak cari that the transaction is recorded at a proper test. Okay, the cut-off test, the transaction is recorded at a proper period. Okay, so for example, all sales revenue relating to the period under audit have been recorded in the period, and no sales revenue relating to other accounting period has been recorded in this period. So you want to check the transaction, okay, recorded at a proper period. Okay, proper period. So that is cut off. Classification. Classify transaction and event has been recorded at a proper account. For example, direct corporation tax expenses are recorded in the tax account, not other expenses account. Okay. Selalu yang ni adalah contoh untuk maintenance. Okay, maintenance of the asset. Okay, maintenance cost should be properly classified as expenses. Okay, not under current under capital expenditure. So that is correct classification. And proper presentation, transaction and event are properly aggregated or disaggregated and clearly described, and related disclosure are relevant and understandable. So the presentation ni ikut IAS 1 lah. Okay, proper presentation. So that is about the statement of classes of the transaction. So yang ni item dalam stop point. Okay, statement of profit or loss. This one under statement of financial position. Okay, so the assertion about account balances and related disclosure. Okay, so what should you look at on the existence? Okay, existence of the in the financial position. Okay, what should you look at? Okay, in your SOFP, okay, you have the NCA, okay, you ada CA, you ada TA, represented by equity, and then you have NCL and CL. So you have total equity and liabilities. Okay, so this one, okay, you have to look at on the existence, okay, of asset, liabilities and equity exists. And then the right and obligation of the asset, okay, and liability. Right for asset, obligation for liabilities. Okay, and then completeness of the transaction, asset, liabilities and equity interest that should have been recorded has been recorded. So that is completeness, sama juga dengan yang transaction tadi. Okay, here you have a difference, okay, where for the asset, liabilities and equity, okay, you have to look at in terms of the accuracy, valuation and allocation of the item. Okay, for example, the trade receivable balance is a true reflection of the amount of the company expect to receive from its customer, and any irrecoverable balance have been provided against. So means when you record the current asset ni, account receivable, okay, bukan record when the company lah, not you as an auditor. You, for the company, when they record the account receivable, okay, they have to minus with all the provision first. Provision for bad debt and provision for bad debt, and then you have to minus with the bad debt minus provision for bad debt. Okay, so you will get your net account receivable, then you put in the statement of financial position. So you have to look at whether the management do or not that kind of allocation and valuation. Classification. So correct classification of asset. If the company purchase the fixed asset, should classify under non-current asset. Presentation IAS 1. So this assertion, okay, financial statement assertion, you must remember and you must able to segregate between transaction and balances. So you jangan silap, okay, even though you look at mostly macam sama. So the difference is on cut off here and valuation here. So yang itu sajalah berbeza. So you must be able, because in the MCQ question they might ask you which one is not under transaction assertion. Macam tu. Which one is not under balance assertion? So you kena ingat lah. Okay, any question on that? Okay. Any question, Ani? Jasmine, is it okay? Mimi? Fatin?
Yes, madam.
Okay, this time Nurul Syah, ada question?
Tak
Okay, tak ada. Okay, so now we proceed. Okay, katalah, okay, ada example kat sini. So audit evidence is usually obtained to support each financial statement assertion. So bila you nak cari audit evidence, okay, you must say that you must find out the relevance audit evidence yang macam tadi kan, quality of audit evidence. Okay, dia check on appropriateness tadi, quality, relevance and appropriate. Relevance audit evidence. So relevance audit evidence means you have to find the evidence, okay, that support each financial statement assertion, and evidence for one does not compensate for failure to obtain evidence for another. However, test may provide audit evidence for more than one assertion. Okay, apa maksud for more than one assertion? So when you provide a test. Okay, for example, the financial statement may show within non-current asset a piece of specialized equipment valued 12,000. The financial statement assertion which relate to the piece of equipment. So this is NCA. Okay, piece of equipment, 12,000. So this is the balances. So balances, you might look at to the balance assertion only. Existence, right, completeness, accuracy, classification and presentation. So since this is under NCA, okay, under NCA 12,000. So what evidence you want to gather or what test you want to perform? Okay, so this is, you should perform the substantive test. Okay, what are the assertion that relates with the, okay, so you have to check on the existence, you have to check on the rights and obligation, and you have to check on the correct valuation of the piece of equipment. So what should the auditor do next? The auditor will then design tests. Okay, so substantive procedure which will provide evidence for this assertion. Okay, what is the evidence? Example. Okay, dia nak tengok an existence. So kalau you nak tengok the existence of the things, okay, if you are in college, you want to see the existence of the wakaf. Okay, can you see from your home wakaf is exist?
No.
Syamina, you boleh tengok daripada rumah, oh kat college ada wakaf lah. So kita duduk, kita tak payah tengok lah kat college, kita tengok gambar je. So that is given you the relevance evidence.
No.
No. Okay, because when you talk on the existence of the things, existence of the asset, you have to physically observe. So you kena tengok, physically observe. Physical observing the piece of equipment provide evidence of existence. So the right procedure dia adalah physically observe. Okay. So in COVID situation also, okay, most of the company cannot, most of the auditor cannot go to the client places. So what should they do? Okay, normally they will ask, okay, in the current situation now lah, okay, they will ask the management to have a live video. So, but you have to physically observe the things lah. Okay, that is simple existence. Okay, right and obligation. Okay, when you physically observe the piece of equipment, they only provide the evidence of existence. Okay, how you are going to review the valuation process? So, you should, okay, for the valuation, you should go to the documentation. Check the documentation. Okay, and then relating to the purchase of equipment, so and provide evidence of the rights and obligation. So, bila you check on the document, you will see, okay, is the piece of equipment is the right of the company, or is there any obligation on the piece of equipment? So sama ada dia beli secara cash ataupun dia guna financing. So if they use a financing, so means that they have a liability there. So that is the meaning of when you audit something. Okay, let's say for you want to audit the non-current asset, it's not only one assertion involved. There might have several assertions involved, then you have to test on that assertion. Okay, and that assertion must be relevant to the audit objective. Okay, so the audit objective is existence, is the right, is the valuation. This is your objective. You want to check whether the asset is exist. The asset is the right of the company. So that is the objective, okay, of your test. So you set, okay, the objective of the test. Second, you choose the correct audit procedures. Okay, what is the procedures? Yang ni lah, you nak pergi observe and then you check the documentation. So that is the correct audit procedures to meet the audit objective. Then baru you kata that evidence is appropriate. Okay, appropriate. So appropriate to the audit objective. So that is audit objective. Existence, rights, obligation, valuation and so on. Okay, in the case of completeness, particularly the auditor are heavily reliant on the effectiveness of the internal control system. So that's why the TOC tadi, test of control, is important. So you want to check the completeness ni, selalu completeness ni dia berdasarkan documentation. So kalau dokumen dia complete, okay, and then they plus with have a strong control of internal control system, then the auditor will rely. Auditor fokus kepada substantive test sajalah, so reduce time. So that is the meaning of this sentence. Okay. So by looking to this question you have, you consider following tests are tests of control or which are substantive procedure. So how you want to check whether this is test of control or substantive procedure? Okay. Okay, to test, to know whether there is a test of control or substantive procedure, okay, test of control means you must have, the answer must be able to see whether the control activity is effective or not. Control activities. So the element dia adalah control activities. Control activities. Okay, you ada example separation of duties. Okay. You ada proper authorization. Okay, you have adequate document and record. Okay, and then you have separation of duties, proper authorization, adequate document and record, physical control. Physical control. Okay, monthly statement. Okay, monthly statement, then lagi. Numbering, apa tu? Adequate document and record, separation of duties, proper authorization, adequate document record, physical control, monthly statement, reconciliation. So that's are all the Word document. Okay, so now kalau yang substantive procedures pula, dia ada yang assertion tadi. Okay, financial step assertion on the transaction and assertion on the balances and notes to the account. Okay, from this one. Okay, number one. Okay, we do together. Don't look at to the answer. Okay, inspecting invoices to ensure they have been approved by managing director. So which one? TOC or SP?
SP.
Syamina said SP, substantive procedures.
TOC.
TOC or so dia punya singkatan sini TOC ya. TOC kat sini substantive test. Kalau I suka sebut ST. Tapi dia panggil saya panggil substantive test. Dia panggil substantive procedure. Samalah SP lah. Okay, substantive procedure. So, which one? Number A. A. TOC or SP?
TOC.
Tengok TOC kat sini, SP based on the assertion yang atas tadi tu. Okay, transaction assertion dengan balance assertion. Okay, please put in the chat box. Jangan tengok jawapan tu. Okay, based on your own understanding. Okay, put in chat box. Okay, cepat. Buat kat chat box. Okay, so majority TOC. Okay, good. TOC. Okay, second. Faster, second. Attending the year-end inventory count. Attending the year-end inventory count. SP Fitri Afika, SP Syamina, TOC. TOC Faiza. Okay, attending year-end. So, bila attend ni sama tak dengan physically observe tadi?
Sama.
So dia jatuh bawah. SP.
OSP.
Attending year end. So dia samalah. Bila you attend maksudnya you observe the inventory count of the company. So dia jadilah substantive procedure. Okay. Review accounting record after year end for event that affect this year's account. Review accounting record after year end. So yang ini apa tadi? For event that affect this year account, proper period. Yang ni, right? SP. Lagi? Pika, Mimi, SP, Samina SP, Mimi, Pika lagi? Nurin, SP. Okay, good. SP. Okay, dah faham ni. Okay, sikit lagi. Obtain confirmation from the bank of balances held at year end. Obtain confirmation. T3 TOC. TOC Etika, TOC SP. So dah banyak jawab TOC. Okay, obtain confirmation. You want to confirm whether the bank tadi, balance tadi tu accurate or not, exist or not. So yang tu dah pergi kepada SP. Okay, substantive procedures. Obtain confirmation, substantive procedures. Okay, confirming how unauthorized personnel are prevented from entering where inventory is held. Okay, unauthorized, confirm how unauthorized personnel are preventing from entering where inventory is held. Ni? Yang ni? You nak confirm unauthorized. So, kat mana? TOC ke dekat substantive procedure? Okay, P3 TOC. TOC Syamina. Okay, Amni TOC. Okay, so this one is TOC. Okay. Confirming if references are sought for all new major customer. If references are sought for all new major customer. Confirm if references. So, tadi tu confirming from the bank or third party. Yang ni for all new major customer ni. P3SP. P3SP, Syamina TOC. Okay, you nak check references. Okay, references. So this is in the accounting system. So bila you nak check the accounting system, okay, so you nak tengok whether that system able or not. So references ni wujud tak untuk new major customer. So dia akan jadi TOC. So dia berlaku kepada dalam accounting system tu itself. Okay. So this question, the auditor is unlikely to test which of the following assertion in respect of receivable balance at the end of the accounting period. Okay, so this is what I said just now. You have to determine which one under balances or which one under transaction. Balance assertion and transaction assertion. So in this case, dia tanya you yang mana? Receivable balance ni, balances ataupun transaction?
Balances.
Balances. So, kalau daripada for this one, so which are not under balances?
Occur.
Yes. Occur ni untuk transaction. So, macam tu lah. What I said just now. Okay. So this dah cerita tadi, reliability ni you boleh baca sendirilah. Okay, reliability kan tadi ada cerita kan, external sources, entity record, okay, directly owned by auditors, okay, evidence in the form of document, written representation is more reliable than oral, and original document are more reliable than photocopy. WhatsApp boleh jadi dokumen, original document tak?
Tak.
Okay, WhatsApp tak boleh So kat sini email boleh. Tapi dia tak jatuh bawah more reliable. Okay, so original document are more reliable than photocopy, emails, telexes or facsimile. Okay, so these are all the audit procedure. So you want to inspect the asset. So these are the audit procedure you have to perform. Inspect document, these are the audit procedure. Yang ni dah cerita tadi, cuma dia buat application. Okay, bila application ni maksudnya kena baca sendirilah. Baru dia faham. So, I dah cerita dah tadi. Observe. So, how you're going to observe? So, these are the types of audit procedure. Types of audit procedure. So, dalam soalan, this memang wajib tahu. Okay, this is wajib. Wajib tahu, so because you want to design your own audit procedure. Okay, based on the transaction given. So you mesti baca yang ni. Nanti bila dah habis exam, okay, you focus back to this topic. Okay. So, dah. So dah habis. Ke I nak terangkan sikit? I terangkan sikit. I just continue about a few minutes. Okay. So kita habis kelas. Petang ni tak ada kelas So you can put your time to study, make your own revision for your final exam. Kali ni kena fokus untuk dapat hadiah world. Okay. So inspection of asset, inspect. Agreeing the accounting record to the physical asset confirms existence. Okay, when you inspect the asset, you have to physically inspecting. Okay, physically inspecting a live machine in the factory proof that machine exists. Okay, but does not confirm how much it is worth or even that the company owns it. So kalau you buat physically inspection the asset, you can check only the existence. So you boleh confirm on the existence of the asset, not what is the value of the asset. Okay, so if you agree the physical asset to the accounting record, okay, you said that yes, the asset is exists. So you agree. Agree means that you take the accounting record, give evidence of the completeness. So what should you do is, example, inspect the last day machines at the audit client premises and match them to the accounting record, identify what they are, any machine that physically exists but are not recorded. So ada tak yang dia exist tapi tak ada dalam record. So yang itu you boleh check on the completeness also. Okay, so bila you nak check dokumen tu, you kena find out the non-current asset listing. Okay, you check from the non-current asset listing. So kalau you tengok as this, mesti ada dalam list. So bila ada dalam list, mesti ada dalam record. Okay, dalam individual ledger. Okay, dalam general ledger of the company. Itu baru dia kata complete. Okay, inspection of documentation of record, confirmation to documentation, okay, of item recorded, demonstrate that the transaction occurred or asset and liability exists. For example, you inspect a supplier invoice which has been posted into the payable ledger, confirm that the company owes the supplier for the goods or services shown in the invoice. Okay, confirm the company owes the supplier. So you inspect document. Satu, inspect asset. Second, inspect document. Okay. So when the confirmation that item recorded in the supporting document are recorded in the accounting record, that is complete the test for completeness. Okay. When you perform the cut off, you inspect the reverse population, that is agreeing transaction recorded after the reporting period to supporting documentation to confirm that they occurred after the reporting period. Okay, what it means? Kan I kata tadi, you ambil 1 week before and 1 week after. So you take all the documents 1 week before. Documents ni, contoh dia you nak ambil sales invoice. So sales invoice 1 week after and 1 week before. You tengok whether they are properly recorded in the sales ledger or not. Yang item selepas sepatutnya tak ada lah dalam ni. Item sebelum should be included. So that is cut off. To check the transaction recorded at a proper period. Okay, when you inspect evidence of valuation, right and obligation. So you want to check whether the asset is really owned by the entity and to the nature of the item in line with the accounting standard. Okay, you can confirm the authorization. Okay, so yang ni you kena inspect dia punya katalah the correct valuation and measurement. You kena tengok dengan dia punya apa tu, you confirm with the katalah bank. So you confirm with the bank in terms of the right and obligation, sama ada dia menggunakan hutang ataupun tak. Okay, observation. So observation, you go to the client places, observe. So what should you do? What should you get from observation? Yeah, you will involve watching a procedure. Okay, inquire. You inquire the information from the client staff or external sources about the operating of the control. Okay, external confirmation ni yang macam cerita Maybank tadi. So you want to check on their existence, right and obligation of the amount. Okay, dia ada external confirmation ni. External confirmation is obtained directly by the audit team, constitute more reliable audit evidence. So when you do the external confirmation, you submit or send the confirmation letter. Okay, saya tak keluar pula. Okay, confirmation letter. Okay, dia boleh kepada bank, kepada account receivable or kepada account payable. So that is you need that particular third party to confirm the amount. Recalculation, arithmetic accuracy of the client records, adding up a ledger account. So you can recalculate. Sometimes you can use the system, computer system, to recheck the arithmetic accuracy. Re-performance, you re-perform client's procedure. Okay, re-perform client's procedure. Let's say just now you the auditor's independent execution of procedure of control that were originally performed as part of the entity's internal control. So what should you do? Re-perform, katalah you observe. Okay, observe the entity inventory count tadi. Inventory count. So when you observe the entity inventory count, okay, you not satisfied with one of the counting, you want to re-perform the procedure. So you buat re-performance of counting. So yang tu maksudnya, okay, you ulang balik procedures of the from the company. And the last one is analytical procedure. Yang ni yang dah cerita tentang ratio analysis. Okay, so okay, I think enough. Okay, any question? Class? Syamina, Nurin Syah?
No.
Ada soalan lagi Afika, Syamina?
No,
Tak
madam.
ada.
Okay, so okay, tak apa, kita stop until this one. Okay, later you have finished your exam, then you go back to this topic. Okay, insyaAllah kita sambung lepas exam lah. Okay, lepas habis exam, so tomorrow I give you free time lah to make your own revision. Okay, I hope you study focus. Okay, recall back what you don't understand. Okay, discuss with your lecturer and so on. Okay, I expect